everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Megan. Today we're going to talk a little bit about life path number 5. So, life path number 5, or if you're born on a 5-day, this can apply to you. A lot of times life path number 5, they're the number of freedom. When I think of life path 5, I think of complete freedom. These people are not the type of people that can be stuck in a 9-to-5 job for too long at all. They need constant change. They need to be constantly doing something different, changing, which in turn can make commitment hard sometimes. I have seen 5s settle down though into a commitment when they've found the right person for them, but it's going to take them a little bit to get there because they're also the number of sexuality, of sex. Fives are the best looking people in the world, but they're also the number of, like I said, sex. They have a lot of it. They may have a lot of children from it. They're very driven by it. They think about it a lot. A lot like the Life Path 7 is consumed by spirituality. Life Path 5 a lot of times can be consumed by sex and adventure. Another thing about life path number 5 is they have a deep-seated need to travel. They have to be traveling, and it goes back to that saying about them that they can't be in they can't be in one place for too long. It really starts to affect their energy. And now all of this does depend on their astrological makeup as well. Numerology supersedes astrology, but astrology does play a role into this. So I'm just going based off the numerology. Number 5s love adventure, freedom, doing new things. They cannot stay in one place for too long. 5s also make great entertainers. Usually you would think of the number 3 as the entertainer, but it's actually Life Path 5 has a lot of those qualities as well. They make great entertainers. They're very funny, outgoing, and part of this is because they are constantly surrounded by new people having fun. That being said, that may also bring into play their commitment issues, right? If they're always out and about having fun, that means they're always meeting new people. So if you're their significant other, it can be really difficult to trust them, at least at first. And like I said, it does matter what their astrological placements are, because they may have some more loyal astrological placements that sort of mitigate the 5 energy, but just solely based off of the 5 energy. 5 energy is, they like to be out in the world. They like to be exploring new things. They don't like to be stagnant. They love to entertain. They love it. When I had a friend who was a Life Path 5, and they would relish in the fact when they would start cracking jokes, entertaining everyone in the room. They almost relished in it. They loved it. It would bring them to life, but they wouldn't stay there for too long. They always had something to move on to, something to go and move on to. Now, I am not saying that Life Path 5s are not capable of being in relationships. They very, very much are. But if you're going to be in a relationship with one, make sure you bring that heat to the bedroom. Make sure you bring that heat to the bedroom, because they are going to be very, very sexual, especially if they're in a committed relationship and not out and about. They are the best looking signs. If you think about the people in your life right now and you do their numerology calculations, whether they're born on a 5-day or Life Path 5, maybe even both, which is double the energy. But just look at the people in your lives that have 5 energy, and you'll start to notice these things. You will start to notice that they have a constant need for change. They have a constant need for sort of having the best looking person. But Life Path 5 isn't quite as shallow as Life Path 9. And we'll get to that one later. But 5s do like good looking people because they themselves are some of the best looking people in the world, just energetically speaking. So Life Path 5s also are very rooted in the 3D. They may have a job that's something where they can move around a lot and do a lot of different things, but they also may have a job where they own multiple properties that they have to keep up. So they're constantly bouncing from property to property to property. And they love that. They love all of that change. Me as a Life Path 7, that does not sound appealing to me unless I was dating somebody who could introduce me to all of those things. But it's just funny to me how when you learn numerology and astrology, it really shows you that everybody's different, and we really shouldn't be judging anybody ever, because we are all made the God way made us for a reason. If we consider somebody lazy, well, maybe they're not lazy. Maybe they have something going on. Maybe they have an astrological placement or a numerology placement that's their energy. So instead of judging them, really understand them. It's all about understanding. And I think that's a huge problem in the world today, just in general. There's a lot of energy of people being very quick to judge and hardly any understanding. So that's what numerology and astrology has done for me. It really helps me be able to understand the people in my life and people in general, and not judge, but come from a place of love and understanding. So back to life path number 5. Like I said, they're adventurous. This is in the world, and it's also in the bedroom. Okay, they're adventurous. They are very, very funny. Life path 5s are very, very funny. Very funny. They, like I said already, they make for great entertainers. They typically, depending on their other placements, they're not shy. My friend who's a Life Path 5, I'm scared to death of karaoke. They walked right up there, no qualms about it, sang a song, met a few people, loved it. These are very much like the wanderers of numerology, which makes commitment hard. And I don't mean a wandering eye. I'm not saying they're cheaters. I'm not saying that at all, though they do have that. They could be, right, with all that sexual energy. It just depends what their other placements are. But I do feel like this is somebody who really needs to travel. If you're a Life Path 5 or born on a 5-day and you haven't done a lot of traveling, I highly encourage you to start traveling. It's going to help you see the world a whole different way. It's going to really broaden your horizons. And try to be adventurous, because that's within your makeup. And really trying to find a partner who understands that you're going to be here, you're going to be there, you're going to be everywhere. And you're going to have to find a really secure partner, someone who understands that. And there's going to have to be a lot of trust within any relationship that you get into. You're going to have to really make sure that the other person trusts you with that 5 adventurous energy, so that fights don't start ensuing, right? Because if you go off and you do all your adventurous stuff, well, this person's going to kind of get the vibe, probably because you do have that 5 sexual energy. They may get scared. They may start wondering, well, what are they out doing? All of this. So Life Path 5s, or anyone born on a 5-day, if you're going to enter, can't talk today. If you're going to enter into a relationship, do your best to make that person feel comfortable, that there's nothing shady going on. And really try to hone in on traveling, and really, really try to find a career where you are not stuck in just one place for too long. 5s have to be constantly changing. Definitely careers. I don't mean people, but definitely careers. But if I'm talking to single 5s out there, you may change partners quite a bit as well. Until you find that one. And again, it just really, really depends on your astrological makeup. But all in all, 5s are really, really great people to be around. They're really fun. They're the kind of people you want at the party or you want at the get-together, because they just make everything so much more fun. So that is what I have. Life Path 5s born on a 5-day. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.